Howdy, Adam.
Howdy, Scott. How are you tonight? If you thought traffic was bad on the connector, just imagine what it was like when everybody started to slow down a little bit because they look to the side and they see what? A guy riding a horse?
But the Hawks pulled it out.
Yeah. Kind of a nail biter, but the fans say, you know what? They've won 17 in a row going into tonight's game. There was really no reason to think that they wouldn't pull it out. They did.
CBS 46's Adam Harding. He is live in Midtown. Adam, I'm sure you're laughing at this music as well. We understand that some people you talk to are still scratching their heads about Valentine's.
I think I'm one of them that's still scratching his head. Systematically went through this strip mall here in Buckhead, hit a salon, hit a clothing store, then hit this boutique. And the damage here is really astounding when you think about it. This massive oak tree just right in front of this homeowner's front yard. This is flooding. This is all going into people's homes. This is going into their basements, and it's only getting worse.
It's been a battle of technology versus Adam, and Adam, you finally won.
It's a long day, as you can tell. Who grabbed a can of spray paint over the weekend, went to cars and homes. They did a lot of damage. Every day, Will, you have ridden your bike to school? Yeah, we got the seal of approval. Yeah, he's ready for tomorrow. Come on, Will, I'm going to beat you. All right. Now, I want to give you the most up-to-the-minute information that we just got within the last 30 seconds. The Department of Corrections telling us that it has been postponed here as we enter 11 o'clock. Scott, tonight we know one person is dead. The question in front of investigators right now is how did he die? This is an officer-involved shooting, but right now they haven't yet said if it was the officer who shot and killed this suspect. Now, I'm going to step out of the way.
And I'm sure they have plenty of concerns, don't they?
You know, Tracy, it's scary, isn't it? You hear tuberculosis, it's a potentially deadly bacteria, and you hear that somebody who comes here to the Bunch Middle School on a somewhat frequent basis has tested positive as recently as a week ago. Think about this, 132, as you mentioned, on board, all of them forced to squeeze out this tiny, tiny window. They slid down the wing of the plane just to get to safety.
CBS 46's Adam Harding is at the scene of the crime tonight, where he was the first reporter to speak with Detective Green's father.
And Stephanie, this whole shooting happening in a matter of seconds in this quiet subdivision. Neighbors are still shaken. This 22-year veteran of the police force leaves behind 4 sons.
I am extremely proud of that man right there.
Terrence Avery Green had this infectious smile.
He was the kind of person that was easily embraced. I guess because he was so ready to embrace others.
He was a gentle giant.
He was just that kind of person.
And his 4 boys were his everything.
Terrence has left us this wonderful legacy here, and we appreciate him for that.
It has been a nightmare for Terrence's dad, Johnny, still shaken from that 2 a.m. phone call. His son killed in an ambush attack Wednesday. His family knows he died a hero.
Even his life was cut short. I still feel like he had a good life.
The 22-year police veteran remembered for being something of a tough guy who did all he could for the family he loved.
The legacy that he has left, how God even got away a blessing by taking some of us and allowing us to leave a legacy.
The family tonight opening up their home and sharing with us some warm memories of the 48-year-old detective who served more than 2 decades on this police force. I should also mention there was a second police officer also shot in this neighborhood. He's expected to survive in large part thanks to a police radio that was on him. That's where the bullet hit. We're live in Fulton County. Adam Harding, CBS 46 News.
So you want the haircut?
At the local barbershop, it's all the buzz.
I can't believe you didn't see it yet, the picture.
What you think about the haircut?
An old man haircut designed instead for kids acting out.
Oh my God, that's going to be embarrassing for a child.
Donna Bird's 10-year-old son Cameron
So you want the haircut?
isn't getting the so-called George Jefferson cut.
This one?
But she'd be on board if he starts to misbehave at home.
I can see the embarrassment factor of it, of them going to school looking like an old man, and they won't want to do that again.
You misbehaving in school?
The whole thing began with the owner's son who started slipping in the classroom. So co-owner Russell Frederick pulled out his scissors, and voila. Needless to say, his son was a little bummed.
People care about their appearance, so If you take that away, I figured he would listen, and he did.
It kind of started a movement.
Cut that he did. That went viral.
A hair-raising experiment that just took off.
Well, that's the one, and it just went crazy, viral.
It has its share of support.
It's a good form of discipline, I think. You have to do something different these days.
And some who say it goes way too far. But Russell isn't cutting it off or cutting it out. He says it works.
You have to reach them before they get to the point where the law enforcement has to be the one to discipline them or punish them. So that's mainly our goal.
So the Benjamin Button, the George Jefferson, I've been calling it all night the George Costanza. Whatever you call it, a lot of people are talking about this one. They say here the hair grows back pretty quickly, so it's just a temporary punishment. Either way, what do you think? We, of course, want to hear from you. You can log on to our website, CBS46.com, or tweet us, because, like I said, this one has a whole lot of people talking. You know, Scott, before he was Spock, he was just Leonard, and he was an actor right here behind us in Midtown.
Live long and prosper.
They were 4 simple words that catapulted Leonard Nimoy into the household name he is today. He was Spock, and we loved it.
And if you're asking a logical decision to make.
But the 83-year-old didn't just live in space. He called Metro Atlanta home, too. In fact, he's got a lot of history here, from serving in the Army Reserves at 2 bases, including Fort McPherson in the 50s, to starring and directing in the Playhouse production of A Streetcar Named Desire, right here in Midtown at the famed Wimbish House, more than a decade before he got his big break, going where no man had ever gone before.
I remember the whole family sitting down watching that very first episode, The Man Trap, and it was amazing. We saw phasers. We were so excited. Couldn't wait for the next episode to come out.
Keith Watson grew up in love with this funny little character who was half human, half alien. He was 11 when Star Trek first premiered. His daughter, 50 years later, is still a fan.
I was really sad.
Lydia Watson was there 6 years ago at one of Leonard Nimoy's last public appearances right here at DragonCon.
We were like 10th row, and so we were really close, and it was incredible.
She says he was gushing over his local ties to the hundreds packed at the convention center to see him.
Before then, I had no idea.
In many ways, he got his start right here. He spent his 20s entertaining the men and women who served right in our backyard.
I was shocked. I had no idea.
For the Watsons, it's a closer connection to the man from outer space who came to mean the world to generations of fans.
I love Atlanta. I was born and raised in Atlanta, and so having little tidbits that you can share with people like that of, hey, Leonard Nimoy lived here for a while. His daughter was born here, is pretty neat.
He lit up the stages here in 1955. He would return about 25 years later in the late 70s and early 80s. By then, though, we all knew him as Spock. We're live in Atlanta tonight. Adam Harding, CBS 46 News.
Adam, thanks for that.